All right, guys, so I am doing this in between Traders for a Cause, trying to get it in as quick as possible. So I'm not going to do the lengthy video scan that I typically do, since I did that part of it today during my presentation. I hope all of you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you took one thing away from each speaker that you can potentially use this week and better yourself as a trader. So first and foremost, thank you guys for last week. I put out a donation match. I think it was up to $10,000 for anybody on Sunday Scan that participated and donated, and we got about, I think, $10,000 or $15,000 donated right away. So I do appreciate. You're more than welcome to continue to donate. I will include some links in the description, but that's what we're here for. A lot of traders, it's their best year ever. A lot of traders, it's their first year ever. But if you have had your best year ever, make it your best year of giving. That's what this is all about. As I said on my presentation today, 1, 2, 5, 10% of what you make per year, if you start to make it a bigger part of what you do, giving, you're going to realize that the benefit that you get, the feel good and being able to make a difference and all of that stuff is a lot better than the difference it's going to make in your life. And I can assure you that it's not going to change your life at all, even up to 10%, probably more. But at that point, that's a big decision to make. So with that said, I want to dive right into Scan. Like I said, I was going to skip the pre-sermon that I typically give. So we're going to go right into it, and I'm going to start with Neo. So Neo has been a pretty decent trader the last couple of days. It's been difficult to always do the right thing on, right? Because it's just like JKS, it's just like Peloton. These things just go straight up. And so what you might be used to being patient on, you nail a trade and you let it work, you let it unwind. Not in this case. These things flush out. There might be maybe a 5 or 10 minute period where they just kind of lose the bottom and flush everybody out. But if you're not there, it comes right back up and then it starts to squeeze you out. So the point that I want to make here is that when and if you do scale into this trade, when and if you do react to these big moves, make sure that you're taking the trade along the way. Otherwise, it's so easy to get frustrated in this market, just like on JKS when I gave that example where I'm up a lot, scaling into the trade, letting it work, and within 30 minutes it's already back red to green, and I've turned a huge win into basically a flat trade when I had many signs to get out, but that bias of this thing's ran too far, it's got to pull back, it just starts to take over. So very similar here, where I think that Neo is going to get into a situation here where it's got to consolidate for a little while. We've seen that on WKHS as well as a few other trades. But I think it might start to get a $1, $2 type of range for the next short while. So to me, that means any flush probably gets bought up. Any breakout probably gets sold off. That's how I am going to get prepared here and at least ready for this trade. However, I do think that we might have some sort of gap down, which I would have no problem joining. But again, it's just a reminder to myself that when and if it does flush out, I need to be present on the bids. I need to be there. I need to not try to be a hero and let this trade work for longer than it's suggesting. So that's what I'm going to be prepared for. Just looking at key levels, we've pretty much hit the same levels twice now. So again, just like I talked about today, looking left, it's not always going to be to the penny, but you can see here that 29.20, 29.50 range, that's going to be your key level to the upside. So if we're over that level, I think we'll probably have trouble. And at the same time, if we're under this pretty much 28, 20 range, I think that we might end up getting some type of bid back to that level. So an edge, for example, if we have a weak open, it starts to flush out and it goes 27.70s, 27.50s, I do think that it'll eventually try to come back up over this level. And that's what I'm talking about as far as being prepared and just saying, you know what, I'm going to take this highly anticipated trade. The probability was very high that if it ramped up and stuffed and flushed out, that I would make money on that trade, but don't try to figure out when it's going to unwind. I mean, look, we could wake up tomorrow, there's some China news or something, and this thing, pulls back $1 and then unwinds too. That's possible too. But as far as anticipating the trade, trading it off the open, which is what I want to get prepared for, I want to have those 2 trade plans. So week open, failed follow through, flush out, or some type of gap up, and push versus this level right here. JMIA, this one is very popular. It's got a nice bull move going. I put it in the line right over here. Excuse me. It's been a long couple days, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days on this Traders for a Cause train that we've been running. By the way, I forgot to mention, we are about $200,000 raised at the moment. Does not include a $125,000 match that we had come in. So we're going to be over $300,000. That's the most that we've ever raised at any event at all. So please, if you haven't donated already, like I said, link will be in description, and hopefully you can take part in that. But this one, looking left, right? There's a good chance we might run into some resistance here. That doesn't mean we're not going to break over it, but 1620, 1650, it might want to come back and retest and kind of see if this level right here ends up being resistance. And it very well may, but at the same time, it could continue. But what I want to be prepared for is the event that if it gaps up too much, it might want to come back and retest that and just see where, are we breaking out today, or is this resistance actually going to hold? So I would be prepared for gap up, continuation, and then look for that pullback. The edge has been on big moves, not fighting the trend. And also, if you are trading contra to the overall trend, which is long, obviously right now, there has been trades in there, but you've got to be on the cover side. So let's see what happens again. It is Monday, so I get prepared for these bigger picture type of moves. But Monday, I mean, there's so many names that end up taking the front seat that it's just such an emotional day where everybody hasn't traded for 2 days. They see something pop up, they're already chasing it pre-market. So we'll see how that all pans out, but I definitely want to come prepared for this one as well. And then the last one for the main watches is obviously HTZ. Over 1 billion traders were served, and I mean that's a lot of volume. So we'll probably have another couple good days of volume here, another couple good trades. I think we'll have one big trade off the open, and I think that we will have another trade maybe 9:45, 10 a.m. to potentially join. Key levels here marked out to basically 270s range, 280s range. I mean, looking left, you could see that from this morning's or Friday morning's action. Also, when it came back, this is a good example of looking left so that you're not buying that breakout before it flushes back to support levels. If you did not look left, if you did not notice this channel, you probably got chopped out. So for me, I want to have 2 plans here. Was this a big short squeeze on Friday and millions of traders got short thinking that it was going to continue to go lower and then got squeezed out and they're gone? We'll find out. So if this consolidates, if this trend holds, I definitely think we could have some fun action, 354. But in the event that it was just one big short squeeze and just a big float rotation and then they walked, then maybe we open 220, 230s and just kind of fade off towards the 180s or 2s. So again, I'm coming in with an open bias. I don't want to be too aggressive on any one side on either of these, actually all 3, NEO, JMIA, and HTZ. I know that they're going to be active. I know that there's going to be trades there, but those are going to be where I'm focused based on the volume and the range and the opportunity that I think will be present. As far as the failed fall through momentum names, SGBX, higher the better. I'm thinking potential retest back towards 3 would be ideal. I always, that would be the ideal trade. Unlikely though. Very clean trade. Nice short in the room on Friday. The good part about this is If you notice this pre-market action, you've got this nice pullback under VWAP. The trap that we see ramps up, comes back, starts to go again. Failed follow through, and then all of a sudden just unwinds, right? And in this case, it's a great long trap. It looks like it's about to break out. Everybody gets super excited, gets long, and then bam, they break it down. I love that just because now all those breakout buyers are now your inventory, your pressure, coming back down. They're all on the wrong side of the trade. That's when I like to be short. I don't like to be short or at least scaling in or sized, when it's going up. I'd rather have the inventory. I'd rather have most people buying higher than where it currently is, because then I know when it starts to rebound, they're going to be looking for their exits. I also want other competition on the offers, when it's fading down. If there's not a lot of competition, if it's thin, if it's going up, then you really don't know where it's going to stop. And so after it's reversed and it's failed a few times, at least you have people stuck on the wrong side of the trade. And that, to me, gives me a little bit more confidence to be on the short side. With that said, the prior range, the prior daily range was about 50 million. This time it was 60 million. We might have a new base here. If that is the case, we could hang around for a couple days. So I do want to be cautious in the event that, come Tuesday, Wednesday, they have another PR. We just had a situation like that on MDGS where, we had a huge volume day, pulled back, looked like it was dead, and then they came back with another PR and squeezed everybody out. So that is a possibility. That is something to be aware of, especially with the 60 million shares that we saw traded. PTON is also under the failed fall through momentum setup. Another great trade in the room on Friday. Got short there at basically 135.50s or so. It flushed out, but once again, if you nail the trade, it's fading, and then it just flushes out. More often than not, it's just not worth being the hero and trying to get that whole move right now. If you've got a big move after a big move, just at least lately, it's been good just to get out, move on, and if it stays heavy, re-enter. But most of the time, you're going to see that it just rebounds right back up, and you're going to get frustrated if you hold the position. I know I did. I had a great position, great entry. I scaled in, so I was actually up quite a bit. It was still a good trade, but the difference after I scaled being, up $5, $6, $7 per share on size versus being up, 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 was a big difference. And I knew that. I knew I should have probably been a little bit more proactive in sizing down. But at any rate, it still worked out perfectly. It failed off VWAP and failed into the close as well. So I didn't really participate in any of this action. That was like kind of a late after hours move. But I did catch this backside move. So key levels, typically VWAP, as well as probably the 131 level, 131.50 level. So I'll be watching that to see how it reacts. And with that said, you also have NLS as kind of a sister name to trade with it. So I have that one right under it. A little bit of a less volatile name. These types of moves lately, you see this kind of breakout here, starts to fade off, blows off, pulls back, comes back down. And so what we need to pay attention to is this 2150 range. You've seen that on a lot of these stocks, including, WKHS, where you've got these fake breakouts and then they finally go. You saw it on DKNG, a lot of these fake breakouts and then they go. So as much as, you might want to be excited that this may finally break down, until we actually have a firm top at 21, I would assume that, yes, it can fade down to that 22, 21.50 level, potentially lower, but I would assume that, until it starts to peak out at 21, assume that it's going to stay in trend. GME, higher the better. This one's been a great trader. You don't have to trade a ton of size. Just look for the macro kind of trade. If I'm trying to scale into this thing, size into this thing, I get chopped up. Anytime that I've tried to oversize, I end up kind of covering a little bit with more emotion than I typically would have, despite being right. Like if it starts to rebound over here or here, and I'm over leveraged, in the sense that, for the position or for the particular trade, then I might be covering just because I don't want to get into trouble. Meanwhile, flash forward, a couple hours, if I had just been 1/3 the size, I'd still be in and I would have made a lot more. Last couple on the long side, continuation scan, or continuation ideas. This is the part of the scan. Again, if you click through to Investors Underground, you will see, I break it down into the main watches, the failed follow through, the continuation, and then just other ones to stay familiar on. But WIMI, I am long. I bought it after hours. They tried to sneak a 6K buy. I saw it, and so I bought some in the low 6s, and I'm just gonna let it work. Hopefully we wake up and it's 7, 8, 9, 10, who knows. But at any rate, nice after hours move. It worked out better than I expected, but I'm thinking they probably put out a PR that was pretty much hidden in the 6K on Friday. GE, great trade setup here. We might be nearing a very big reversal. It is a different market than it was, towards the lows over here. It did try a similar move back into this daily VWAP level, but watch it over here. We might have trouble at 750. That seems to be, the level that it's been holding, or at least having difficulty with this entire time. But again, different market, different types of players. Maybe we break through and we have that nice move towards 8. So I'm going to be prepared for that. Great setup. And REPL, it's a relatively low volume trade. Maybe they get ready here to do an offering of some sort, but I traded it the prior 2 days, actually the last 3 days, and I was thinking that it might be one of those ones that turns into, the circuit halt that goes into the 45s, 50s, 52, 55, something like that. Very light trader. If it does not break down the next couple days, I do think that even though it's super extended, if we start to base at 40 and then base at 41, base at 42, I'm going to get more and more bullish for the potential of that squeeze where we had 10 million shares, we had another follow-up 7 million shares. It might be one of those situations where somebody got on the wrong side, too much size, and now they're stuck. We have that squeeze out. We have an opportunity. So. That's the ones that I'm going to be prepared for. As I said, I always have the staying familiar section, which I've got other stocks, PEIX, FSLY, Real, and BYND. BYND's had some relative weakness versus peers lately, so I definitely want to keep that one on watch in case we end up 165, 170 soon. But with that said, that's what I'm prepared for. As you guys know, the Sunday, or at least the Monday mornings, get pretty crazy. So I want to, foot off the gas a little bit. A lot of people end up on the wrong side of names early in the morning. Pre-market Sunday. See, I haven't slept enough this weekend because of the Traders for a Cause event. Pre-market on Monday, people, they have that FOMO. They want to get involved, and then they're already starting from the red. So. Hands off and be patient. And just like I've said the last couple of videos, I've been super focused on sizing into 2 names. And it's done wonders to my trading. It's really allowed me to zone in and focus on what I'm best at. I still am trading many other names. That is my personality. I do need to be involved. Part of the trader pulse. I want to be in the pulse of the market and get a feel for things. But I am only sizing into about 2 names per day for the most part. So that's been a big game changer, big uptick in trading P&L this month so far. And again, I'm not trading my P&L. I am just trading, process, waiting for the trades, and the rest is taking care of itself. So that I think is about it. We can go ahead and pick a winner for a t-shirt. We do have to send out about about 100 t-shirts from this weekend, so we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be a busy time. Let's see. Wow, why don't we go with Matt Mattis, Matas. Give me an email at webmaster@investorsunderground.com. Give me your address and your shirt size, and we'll get a t-shirt out to you as well. Everybody have a good rest of the weekend. Again, thank you for participating in Traders for a Cause over the last couple days. Hopefully you guys have donated. If you haven't already, consider it. Like I said to start this thing, the people that donate $5, $10, $25 and they think that it's not enough, it is. It's $5 more than the other guy did. So thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow in the room.